Hello, good morning. My name is Caterina Elizabeth Pivac-Avellino. Topic Ebola virus disease among children is West Africa. Definition is a series of fatal disease caused by a virus. Symptoms include fever, diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding, and other disease. The Ebola outbreak in West Africa, which began in March 1514, was the largest hemorrhagic viral epidemic in history. Almost 14% of the people who contracted the condition during this outbreak died. Video.
Today's topic is Ebola virus disease, or Ebola. Ebola virus disease is a severe and usually fatal illness in humans and other primates caused by the Ebola virus. The condition, which was formerly referred to as Ebola hemorrhagic fever, has a high risk of death, killing between 25% and 90% of people who are affected. In 1976, the disease was first identified in two simultaneous outbreaks, one in Nzara, a town in South Sudan, and the other in Yambuku, Democratic Republic of Congo, a village near the Ebola River, from which the name of the disease was coined. The largest and more complex epidemic outbreak of this condition occurred in 2014 to 2016 in some part of West Africa, with 28,616 cases and 11,310 deaths. The outbreak mainly affected three countries in West Africa: Liberia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. Some cases were also reported in some part of Central Africa. Ebola virus disease spread between these countries, starting in Guinea.
Application in medicine reduce the risk of contagion between people with contact with body fluid that arrest have the diarrhea. Disease. Use of gloves and sterile equipment during the intervention of the sanitary personnel. Regular washing and disinfection on the part of the body that are mostly exposed. Video.
Ebola is a disease that knows no mercy. This man is one of many affected by the outbreak in Guinea. But there are teams from around the globe who are on the move or on high alert to contain this current outbreak. Treating the disease is complicated because it's rare, it's contagious, and it's deadly. This is the first time Ebola has been found in Guinea. An added complication is that the disease is not only present in several remote areas in the country, but there are also numerous cases and deaths in the capital city of Conakry. The World Health Organization has been managing Ebola outbreaks since the 1970s. Once the disease has been reported, it triggers a global response. The IHR, International Health Regulations, provides a global framework for a collective effort in support of the outbreak response. Communication between WHO HQ, the Afro Regional Office, and the WHO Country Office in Conakry intensifies. The Global Outbreak Alert and Response Network, GORN, and other partners are alerted. Some contribute financially, some contribute supplies, others head to the outbreak site as logisticians, doctors, epidemiologists, or trainers. With their support, WHO is constantly optimizing response strategies. Teams meet daily to plan and coordinate activities on the ground and to identify challenges that need to be addressed. Some work in hospitals, some track the disease spread, and others work in the community with families. They are also confronted with the devastating news that the disease has been confirmed to have crossed Guinea's national borders into Liberia and has the potential to spread even further. Throughout the country, warehouses are moving supplies and materials. Experts are mobilized for contact tracing. Intensive care units are set up. Local staff are trained in the use of PPE, personal protective equipment. At the same time all these activities are happening, WHO
Video.
Moment que tout se passe bien, tout le monde, nous aussi on est tranquille, vous aussi vous êtes tranquille. Avec les deux personnes qui sont tombées malades pendant le
Pros and cons. Children were less likely than adults. People 50 years of age or older for to report pain in the abdomen, chest, going or muscle, difficult breathing or swallowing, all up between the onset of symptoms and clinical presentation. Over this feeling may reflect difficulty your children have at reporting symptoms related at different symptom profiling. Video.
Our lead story here tonight was the news of the first diagnosed case of Ebola in the U.S. Of course, it's been raging in Africa, specifically in the West African nation of Liberia, where over half of the more than 3,000 deaths have taken place. The Pentagon said today nearly 200 American workers are already on the ground there, with more than 3,000 U.S. troops to arrive soon. They will join in what could be a very long fight to contain the outbreak. Our own Dr. Nancy Snyderman has made her way there and reports tonight from Liberia's capital of Monrovia.
Dying of Ebola is a brutal process, and for this man, a lonely one, as fearful onlookers keep their distance and ambulances refuse to pick him up until he is dead. Today we watched as a 17-year-old girl named Jane was brought to Redemption Hospital and left in a wheelbarrow looking near death.
Where are you going?
But seconds later, she bolted up and tried to run away. She was stopped by her mother, who walked her back toward hospital staff who were dressed in their protective equipment. Fear of a virus few have ever seen up close, and one I have never encountered in my career as a physician until today. Nurses trained in the protocol of suiting up for Ebola help me into the layers of protective clothing. It's very hot, it's very intense, and invite me into a place that is off limits to most outsiders.
We're completely suited up.
The Ebola Isolation Unit. Every precaution is taken before I can go inside. No shortcuts allowed.
It used to be the labor ward, but now it's being used as a transition center.
After walking through the hospital halls, we find the young girl and her mother.
This is the young woman we brought in earlier who tried to get away.
Still on the sidewalk being questioned and screened.
How long has she been ill? 2 weeks?
Both are admitted to the hospital.
She's obviously extraordinarily weak. They're going to bring her in here to evaluate her further.
The mother is now considered at risk for Ebola, and she'll be evaluated too. Doctors here say they are fighting a war against a deadly and unpredictable enemy. Dr. John Sanko is Redemption Hospital's medical director.
It is a disease that is beyond boundaries. It is a disease that is irrespective of who you are. It is a disease that comes to kill.
You should apply in Ecuador. Erwer investigate the progress and outtake of EBD in confirmed and verbal pediatric case report from Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Extracted according to the absolute and per capita case in the sale of EBD among children showed that 60 years of age was be significantly and constantly lower than the incidence among adults in their country. This pattern is similar to that observed in post-EBD offer. Because the current epidemic is so large, in providing an opportunity to explore the wide and width epidemic, and clinical parameters vary according to age. Video.
The 2014 to 2016 Ebola virus disease epidemic in West Africa resulted in more than 28,000 infections and 11,000 deaths. Studies from this and previous Ebola outbreaks suggest that survival may be associated with health complications. Launched in 2015, the PREVAIL-3 study is a 5-year longitudinal observational study in Liberia, comparing Ebola survivors with close contact controls. The prevalence of symptoms and abnormal findings in survivors and close contact controls was compared at study enrollment and 6 and 12-month follow-up examinations. From June 2015 to June 2017, 966 antibody-positive Ebola survivors and 2,350 close contact controls were enrolled, with 90% followed for 12 months. The median time from the onset of Ebola symptoms to enrollment was 358 days. At enrollment, 6 symptoms, including headache, memory loss, and joint pain, were reported more often in survivors than in controls. At the 12-month follow-up, these symptoms had declined in both groups.
In conclusion, Ebola is a serious and often fatal disease caused by various symptoms including fever, variable mixed bleeding, and other and their area should be hardship to avoid infection. Thank you very much.